So I'm about to have my next cup of coffee with James Holley, the CEO of Traxtion. Thank you, James, for joining me today. It's been a while since we last chatted, about 18 months since the change in brand and the splitting up of the company, Traxtion Projects, Leasing and Traxtion Shelton. How's it going?
It's been good. I think it's been a great thing for the company. It's we are 31 years old today.
Today?
At the moment.
At the moment?
Yeah. Our birthday is sometime in October. But,
okay.
So that's a long time, and the ethos of the company is exactly what it always was, which is this huge focus on quality, and that's what we think differentiates us from other operators in the market. What we needed to bring into the company was some real new energy, the ability to really amplify our technical offering, which is now something we can really do with the new Rosslyn workshops. And we also needed that deep financial capacity that really enables our company to grow and us to offer services to the market that we hadn't been able to offer in the past. Because, as we know, rolling stock is extremely expensive, and if you're going to grow a railway, you need a lot of financial capacity.
Absolutely. How's your facility in Rosslyn?
It's good. We commissioned it on the 21st of December. Like all contractors do, they got it ready just in time for the December holidays. For the first time, we have got locomotives under rebuilds in the workshops at the moment.
Oh, fantastic.
We're busy with a big fleet upgrade program over our entire fleet. So that's about 15 locomotives that we're busy upgrading out of our own fleet at the moment. And then we're busy with some third-party rebuild programs for some of our customers in the market as well. So the workshop is going to be extremely busy in the next couple of months. What we try to do there is collaborate with as much of the market as we possibly can. So we want to focus on major maintenance, interventions, overhauls, rebuilds, key component rebuilds for mostly GE and EMD technology locomotives. That's what we've been doing for 30 years. The problem that we had in the past is our workshops were really small. We only had the capacity to do 3 locomotives at a time in the past. We've now got the capacity to do 15 locomotives at a time. And where we don't have specialist knowledge, for example, in a heavy traction motor rewind, we look to collaborate with the market to provide a non-stop shop offering. So we're looking to make it a rail services hub.
So, and that's where the hub comes in. And so, who have you got part of your hub so far? What are you still looking for?
We're looking for the first couple of areas where we're really focusing is on heavy traction motor rebuilds and on a wheel shop. So those are the first 2 areas that we're focusing on in terms of bringing people into our workshops. The workshops have a lot more capacity than what we need. So we are also looking to collaborate with parties that specialize in parcel work, for example, for the coach rebuild tenders that are out at the moment. So that we welcome them to come into our workshops. Other OEMs that would like to utilize 1 or 2 of the lines in our workshops, we're also open to that. What we've done is we've ensured that we will never manufacture locomotives ourselves. We'll never look to manufacture key component parts ourselves. And in so doing, we aren't an IP threat to the vast majority of the market. And that enables us to be and attract a lot of partners into our business, which is exactly what we're after.
New projects outside of the Rosslyn facility? What else have you guys been busy with?
One of the nicer projects that we've just picked up is a closed network in the Free State with Anglo Gold Ashanti, Harmony and Village Main Reef. It's a large closed network. We are operating for all 3 of the miners. We've worked with Harmony for about 14 years. We've worked with Anglo and their various guises for a long time as well. And it's nice to have Anglo Gold now as a customer. It's nice to have Village Main Reef as a new customer, and to really sort of grow those relationships and to see where they can take us. That's a nice operation. It's very similar to some of the operations we've done in the past for Sabania, for example, where we ran a complete system. And here again, we've taken over the complete system. So we actually acquired the system, the rail network, and now we're operating that. It's one of the sort of big opportunities that still exist in the region, is where there are these closed networks that operate outside of the state networks. And so hopefully we can find some more.
You're leasing wagons?
We obviously have our own leasing company ourselves. When we initiate new operations, particularly up in Africa, it takes time to prove those operations. I think what people don't recognize is how difficult it is to raise debt funding for projects, particularly at the moment. There have been some tough experiences recently with Rosslyn Railways and others. The availability of debt is difficult. Okay, we have a very neat example of what can be done where we are leasing 85 wagons from Transnet Engineering. We found the quality of those wagons to be outstanding, and it's a lease to buy. So we will be taking up that purchase option over those wagons in the near future. What we needed to do is get the operation up and running. We needed to get the positive cash flows. Off the back of those cash flows, obviously, then you attract the funding. We're very lucky in that we have the backing of deep financial capacity from our two shareholders, which is the Pan-African Infrastructure Development Fund and from Principal Capital. So with that big equity underpin, it enables us to really raise funding. And they have a huge amount of appetite for the rail industry and for these type of assets and these type of investments. So, you know, with technical capacity or technical ability and financial capacity, there's just so much you can do. So it's a really exciting thing that we can take to other parts of the continent.
So where do you see the next opportunity or opportunity in general in Africa?
I think in general there's a real opportunity in track. And what I mean by that is in the slots that are available on the networks in Africa. If there's a rail network on the continent and that operator has capacity, let's say to take up 3 slots per day on the line, and the line has capacity for 10 slots. Those 7 slots represent cash and revenue that can be brought to that railway, that government, by approaching private operators to bring in their own rolling stock. And when those operators have 30 years of experience and they have ISO 9000 certification and they have safety management systems that have been developed over decades and decades, it means that you've got a safe operator. If you've got a safe operator and you've got available slots, well then why not utilize those slots to generate new revenue? And why not use those slots to grow the rail industry in your area? And we see that as a huge opportunity. It's really exciting that the Department of Transport seems to be going that way. In the white paper in South Africa, it's great that some of the regional railways are starting to look at that, some of the regional governments are starting to look at that, and it's a politically easy decision because you aren't handing your network over to one operator that is now responsible for your state infrastructure. You're saying to one operator, you come and you run trains under these safety terms and conditions. But you can attract others too, which means that it's a much easier decision to take, with the state still being responsible for the condition of the track. And we think it's a great opportunity, and it's really low-hanging fruit. So I hope that more of the regional governments start to look at that, as opposed to the traditional concessioning model, which has proven so difficult.
Yeah. Thank you, James, for taking a moment to have coffee with me, and I'll see you next at your Rosslyn facility.
Pleasure. Excited to have you.